Heading down the bumpy road. Post office today. Post office. I don't think I'm going to go to a thrift shop today. So, after that, find a place to make some coffee. I got this new contraption, pour over, filter and pot combination by Bodum. And I'm going to try that. I'm sure it was worth the $5, but I just want to see it. My only concern is I like my coffee really hot. So by the time you pour it through and it filters through the funnel and into this kind of cool glass, and not cool like groovy, man, but cool like cold, I'm afraid it's going to cool my coffee down a little bit. And I like my hot, coffee very hot. So anyway, see you in a bit. I always forget where the button is. Hey guys, I'm back. I shipped my one little lone item today. Now I'm just going to sit in the parking lot and make some coffee. Kind of warm today, so that's okay. Monday, we went out to eat and went to a coffee shop, the whole family. It was our anniversary, my wife and I. And just did something simple this year. Last year, we went to Indiana and went and saw the eclipse. And it was an epic trip. We stayed in a pumpkin patch. No pumpkins at the time, but we stayed in a pumpkin patch. They were renting out little places where you could pitch a tent or park your van, and we camped out in the van. And it was really a nice experience. So this year we just kind of stayed close to home. And anyway, I took my two boys to a coffee shop yesterday. And it was the one we wanted to go to the day before, but it was getting close to 4 o'clock and they close at 4, so I postponed it for a day and we drove back over there. And I got to talk to my oldest son for quite a while, just he and I. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, I don't feel like grinding beans. I love the smell though. I think okay, I'm gonna go ahead and try this. I probably shouldn't, because if you watch my video where I had issues with my pour over, my little filter, I ended up making a mess. I said I would never do it in the van again. Well, technically I'm not, but I am. And I'm not because I'm not using the same little puny filter that I had then. See how small it is? And it just like tipped over and everything went everywhere. Now I'm using the one I got yesterday. So, and it's different because it goes into a pot. So I don't have to put this right onto a cup. So there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and do the Cafe La Stella. And I don't know how it's going to turn out because sometimes these grounds clog up the little holes. And I'm just going to estimate here. Not really sure how much to put. But anyway, I got to talk to my oldest son. And he has a little bit of a business plan going on. I'm not going to invade his privacy by telling what. It's legal. But, I encouraged him also to sell on a platform, but also have a personal website, because that's yours and you can't be kicked off of it. But anyway, and they work in conjunction. But we were just talking about it, and I can see him doing really well by the time he's, in his early 20s. Whereas when I was in my early 20s, I was a mess. I didn't get in any trouble. Like, I didn't drink, I didn't do drugs, but I didn't really have any plans. But like I told him, things were different when I was growing up. I didn't have the internet, I didn't have cell phones, I didn't have all the resources that are available now. I mean, it's almost as if now it's almost impossible not to be successful if you put in a decent effort to be successful. You know, back then, if you wanted to research something, I had to go to the library and find books that were 20 years old and hope that these places, wholesalers, whatever, were still in business. Then I had to do everything physically, brick and mortar type of a store. I told him, I said, man, you've got the whole world at your fingertips. And with his business plan that he's got going on and a little bit of my input, I think he's going to do really well at an early age. And my youngest son's still a little too young to be thinking along those lines. He does mention a few things here and there, and he has some really good ideas for being his age. But my 15-year-old, he's about to implement his plan and get it started, and I think he's going to do okay. And like I told him, back when I was growing up, you had to either go out and get a job and work your way up the ladder if you wanted to, or you could just work from job to job to job and really never do anything really. Or you could go to college, spend all that money and get educated, and you may or may not use your degree. I've never used my degree. Waste of time and money, but I was playing baseball, and that's really the reason I went. I hate to say it, but that's the reason I went. Let me just pour this coffee here real quick. I'm going to try not to like drip it all over myself. See what happens here. I don't think I want to do too much. That was hot. You know, I'll let that drip through. Oh, that's what they make the cork for, right? You don't have to burn your fingers. You hold it by the cork. Anyway. Anyway, like I told him, and we've talked about this before in this channel, get a job, do your best. Do your best like it's your business. Do your best. Show up on time. Leave it. Work extra hours if they ask you to. Be that person who shines, right? That's how I felt like I did when I was working different places. And I've mentioned this on the channel before, but I had dozens of opportunities to get promoted into higher management, to be a flight attendant, to travel the world with a good paying job. I had it. All I had to do was go fill out the application because the guy who was hiring for the airline met me when I was working at Montgomery Ward, and he said, "You are awesome at customer service. I'll hire you in a heartbeat. Just come fill out an application." I didn't do it because I was scared of flying back then, but now I'm not. I was a chicken. Anyway, but I told my son, even if you have your own business, though, you have to be very cordial with people. You have to be polite. You have to be willing to work with people also. Everything can't be etched in stone. You have to have leniency and things like that. And I don't know. We had a long talk. We talked for about an hour and a half about business, but I think that, man, the kids growing up and this generation, the last generation or whatever, and the future generations, yeah, they got a lot of, there's a lot of negative things related to the internet, obviously, but there's also a lot of good. It's kind of like that the Bible verse that money is the root of all evil, and you hear people say, "Oh yeah, money's the root of all evil, and it's so bad. Yeah, you shouldn't be a millionaire." Yeah, but really it says the love of money is the root of all evil. Money itself is not the evil; it's the love of money. So it's the same way with business. You have to just think of it and put it in context. You know, if you're successful, what are you going to do with your money? Money helps people. I mean, it's in the hands of a person who is a good-hearted person, but the one thing I would do is help people, endlessly help people. I love people, and I like helping people a lot. I've always enjoyed that. But money itself is in the right hands is a good thing. It can feed people, it can shelter people, it can help people in many different ways. You know, pay for a kidney operation or a heart transplant. I mean, money in the right hands is a good thing. And I'm trying to instill that in my boys too. That there's nothing wrong with wanting to make a lot of money. There's nothing wrong with it at all, if it's for the right reasons. And I know both of my kids, their hearts are in the right place. I mean, my youngest son, when he was, oh my gosh, he was so young, probably 4 years old, he told his mother, or his mommy, he said, "You know what I want to do when I grow up?" He said, "I want to help all the orphans in the world." 4 years old. And he wanted to help all the orphans in the world. I mean, what a beautiful thing to say. But anyway, I talked to my son for a long time about business and how to, you have to treat people. And he knows this. He makes comments at a fast food restaurant. We go to eat, and he'll say, "Did you notice how that person did this or did that, or how she didn't smile, she didn't say thank you, or this, that, and the other?" He's already like tuning in on this stuff. So I just want to be there to support both of my boys however I can. But yeah, this generation, they have so much literally at their fingertips. I mean, anything that I tried when I was 17, 18, 19, 20, in my 20s or whatever, I mean, I had to do physically. I had to try to, build a service. I'd have to go out and bang on doors, put ads in paper, and try to get business that way. If I had a brick and mortar, which I have, I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 businesses. And you just had to depend on advertising, word of mouth, and getting people in the door. But nowadays, you can sit in your room and make $1 million in the comfort of your bedroom. So, and of course, it's not too late for people like me and you if you're older and stuff. I think I looked at the demographics. I think a lot of people are 40 and above watching my videos, and I have some of all ages except infants. I don't think any infants, I hope, are not watching. But anyway, yeah, I have a wide array, but I think most of them are over 40. And it's not too late for you, for me. It's not too late because we have this stuff now at our fingertips. We didn't grow up with it though, so to me, I feel like, you know how they say that learning to play a musical instrument gets harder as you age and get older? Well, I think it's the same with anything, like the internet. They're raised with it and they're used to it, accustomed to it, and whereas I struggle with certain things, HTML and trying to build websites and even promoting myself here on YouTube. I don't actually. Whereas you hear that you have to do this, you should do this, and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to make a simple video, stick it on there. If people watch it, they watch it. If they don't, they don't. Because, as I said a million times before, mostly I'm making these for my 2 boys, that they have something to look back on and say, so that is who my daddy was. Or is, I hope. I prefer that, but you get the point. I just want to leave something, like a video legacy of our lives together while they're growing up and that type of thing. And I love your comments. Thank you for the comments. I've been getting some really good comments lately, and I really appreciate that. I'd love to know. I see the comments and I see these people, subs and stuff, and I'm like, who are these people? I'd love to know who these people are. And I feel like if you're subbing and you're watching and you're liking my videos, chances are we could probably have a pretty good cup of coffee together. Don't you think? That's kind of what I think. And speaking of coffee, you remember how I said I like my coffee hot? And I've been sitting here yapping my mouth. And what was that, man? Something was in my coffee cup. Not alive or anything like that. I don't know what it was. I'm just going to try this out. Coffee grounds. There's coffee grounds in the bottom. Oh, wow, that is good coffee, though. I usually don't brew my coffee anymore. I'm lazy, and I use instant. And I've become very accustomed to the flavor of instant, where I actually like it a lot. And but this is good. It's not hot enough. I should have drank it, right away. But it's good. It's definitely got that brewed flavor. So I like this for $5. It was a great buy. I think my wife said they're about $38 if you had to buy them, and that was like she was going to buy me one 2 or 3 years ago, but she opted for a smaller version because she thought maybe this was a little too large, and it really is. I drink this. This is tiny, right? Remember, tiny. This is what I usually thought I smelled something. I burned my hair off my arm. Why didn't I turn that off? It's just been sitting here running the whole time. You should have sent me some kind of waves. But wait a minute, you don't know I was making this, right? Okay, never mind. Forget it. But yeah, I smelled something. I'm like, what is that smell? It's like, well, it's some of the hairs on my arm. Wow. This is pretty good. But anyway, I don't know. You may have grandkids. You may have kids. You may be a kid. I don't know. But I guess the whole thing is there is so many resources out there that if you really want to be successful in business, and I'm talking from a financial standpoint, because I think happiness, if you're happy, you're successful. Whether you're poor financially, moderately, got moderate money, whatever, you know what I'm saying. It's in here. But if you want to be financially successful, have money to share and give other people, to donate to your church, to help the needy and things like that, and that's one of your desires, it's endless, the possibilities. There's so many things you could do out there. It's insane. So all you can do is just decide what your interests are, work with your interest, and just do it. Just do it. Don't let anybody stop you. And I would encourage you not to tell a lot of people about it either, because there's a lot of negativity out there. And believe it or not, but a lot of good friends, I'm not going to say they're going to root against you or wish you any bad, but some will. Some will. So, anyway, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm actually humbled to even have the amount of subscribers that I do. I'm very humbled that, more than one other person, like maybe a member of my family, would want to watch my videos. So I appreciate you guys so much, really. So remember, God bless you always. My family, I read the 91st Psalm, the 23rd Psalm, and the Lord's Prayer to my family. every night. It's just something we've been doing for, I think, over a year and a half now. And one day, if they need something like that, if they're in a situation, a circumstance, I hope and pray that all this reading is going to pay off, that they're going to be able to pull up to something and hold on to it and dwell on it and come out on the other side good, you know? So anyway, God bless you. Love you guys. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.